Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast. I am your host, Susie Hunter. I am joined by Spencer Smith, who I did tag in the post.
She tagged me hard.
I did.
Her words, not mine.
We have sure. we have a show for you today. It's a show. We're going to talk about what some former Rockies are up to now in the postseason. We're going to talk about how the Rockies prospects who are playing in the Arizona Fall League are doing, and we're going to get into some other stupid bullshit. So it's just going to be like a fun off-season pod.
Love a good off-season pod.
Love a good off-season pod. We got two Sagittariuses on the set right now.
It's a lot of Sag for one set.
It's a lot of Sag. Luckily, we have Alyssa, who is a Scorpio producing, to keep us grounded.
A lot of S's, though.
A lot of S's. A lot of like winter, fall birthdays.
It's the best time to have a birthday.
Technically, our birthdays are all in the fall.
See, I always hated it, though, because I couldn't do cool stuff outside. Like, I always wanted to go to Elitch's for my birthday.
Yeah.
Closed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably actually a summer birthday is probably the best.
Yeah.
Summer birthdays are probably the best. Your baby was born in the summer. It
Yeah.
all comes back to Mr. Baby.
All comes back to the kid.
All conversations.
The legend. He is something.
You know what? He is. He's amazing.
I get to sleep 3 hours at a time, but it's fucking great. It's amazing.
That is amazing. Are you watching? Are you keeping up with the wild card round?
Yes, watched all the games yesterday. The TV provider that I have, which won't be named because it's no free ads, has this really cool thing where it splits the screen for you. And so I used to have picture-in-picture on my old TV, and I'd watch it all the time, but it was like the little one at the top kind of covered, like, and if you're, you got to get it right with the scores because it's always sports.
Yeah, of course.
For me, at least. But the...
well, I don't think people are like, oh, I really need to watch this episode of The Bachelor and this episode of Below Deck.
Yes. I guess you could go, like, I having I have two TVs in my living room, so I can play video games and watch TV at the same time. Like, so I'm smart. Very like that. But no, they have the picture-in-picture. So I had both games on at the same time. Sound I get to choose. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm impressed by the Diamondbacks, man. That's impressed for our All-City squad.
All-City squad is coming up.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade towards them.
This is a safe space for shade, by the way.
Not too much. No, I'm really happy for the Diamondbacks, but I'm happy for them because it's all Arizona has. Like they, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk shit because the Broncos suck and the Cardinals have actually won games and the Suns are supposed to be good, but like that's a pretty kind of a sad overall sports town. And so it's good for them to have this, and I'm happy for them. Mm-hmm. And I love when a team is written off at the beginning of the year. And this division's so tough, and the Padres are so good, and the Giants won 100 games last year, and now all of a sudden the Giants are firing their manager, and the Diamondbacks are the ones making the playoffs. They were just gushing about their bullpen, and I didn't watch too intently because I was kind of like paying attention, trying to be a dad and pay attention to the games at the same time, which
is called balance.
Balance, which I'm not always the best at, but their bullpen is like. If I remember correctly from the most of the season, pretty shaky. Like they traded for Paul Sewald, but the dude like is a loose cannon. Like he can give up 4 runs in the blink of an eye, much like a lot of the Rockies bullpen pitchers, unfortunately. But no, their bullpen was apparently really good the whole series. Kind of crazy that series didn't even get back to Arizona. Like as a Brewers fan, I think in other sports, baseball is the number one killer when you make the playoffs, and now at least there's you have to lose 2 games in order to be out. The one game was just an absolute heartbreaker.
Yeah.
2 is still bad, though. Like, they lose 2 straight games, and they did all that work they did to win the NL Central the whole season, just poof, gone, out the window. They won as many playoff games as the Rockies did this year.
Ooh, damn.
You know, and
that's the meanest thing you can say to a team.
Right, exactly. And it's crazy, but happy for the Diamondbacks. Happy for the Phils, another all-city, like just all-city moving on. Phils just, that was not a, like, I'm sorry, but the Marlins, yeah, come on. Like,
someone on Twitter described the Marlins as fool's gold. And I'm like, yeah. Because they look like a pretty good team, but like I knew in my soul, I'm like, these guys are fake.
Yeah, they're not beating the Phillies. And then happy, like I know it's not really an upset because they won the division, but happy for the Twins too. That's another like.
I'm not that happy for the Twins. The Twins.
What's your vendetta
here's
here?
Here's the thing about the Twins. Like I don't. The Twins as a team, no qualms with them. It's how they won their division, and they have a worse record than than at least one team that didn't get to make a wild card.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
So like they just like didn't have good enough of a record, and I'm sad that they're moving on instead of like I would have loved to have seen the Mariners in the postseason, but they're cursed.
That would have been a good story. And I do respect that take because like the NFL's like that too. If you win your division, the Broncos won their division in 2012 at 8-8.
Yeah.
And there was teams that were 9-7, 10-6 that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They end up winning a home playoff game, kind of the same thing as the Twins. You get it at home, you win 2, now you're moving on. So I'm with you on that take. That is a little annoying, but also like the Blue Jays are one of those teams where I don't know. I just don't. I'm not really a fan.
You're not a Blue Jays guy?
No.
Okay.
To me, they have the like. I love Bo Bichette. I love,
We've got we've got like a lot of former player kids on there, but Bo Bichette.
Yeah, they're
his dad Dante, Rockies legend.
Dante Bichette. They're a fun team. I guess I shouldn't say I hate like if they would have beat the Yankees, I'd be extremely happy.
Well, you know what? The good thing about that is that the Yankees aren't even participating in the postseason. Like not even close.
It's amazing. I love that. And then other AL matchup was
It was Rays versus.
Oh yeah. Happy
who did
for
they play?
The Rangers.
The Rangers.
Happy
right.
for our boy John Gray. The Rangers are a little
Yes.
annoying though. They spend a lot of money in the offseason team and sign guys and just pay. I just am salty about it because we never do that as a Rockies fan. But the Rays were unbeatable in April and May.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that it does not matter what you do up until, I mean, you have to win enough games to make the playoffs, but insane that the Rays, and I feel bad for the Rays team, the players, the organization. They have no fans at the game. They lose 2. They had a great season, and now it's all gone up in smoke. But the Tampa Bay itself, GFY Tampa Bay, fuck them. That's bullshit. If we had a playoff game here in Colorado yesterday, the fucking stadium would have been so full. And there's so many other cities, Seattle, basically every other city, I would imagine, would have a full rocking stadium.
And Tampa Bay has such a small capacity, and they couldn't even fill it.
It's sad. It's so sad. I feel so bad for the players. Like
I do too. Yeah, that's brutal. I will say the only person in the world that I know who actually loves that stadium also did not attend. My mom could have gone to games down there.
Oh, okay.
Because she lives in Clearwater.
Okay.
My mom, have I told you this? My mom loves the Trop.
Really?
She's the only person on earth who loves Tropicana Field. Well, because it's kind of ugly and, it's older and it's like, whatever. And she was like, no, I love it. Like, it's temperature controlled. It's always 72 degrees. She doesn't have to worry about getting rained on or like the wind blowing her hair into her lip gloss. Like, she's just so comfortable.
Okay, that's fair.
And like, she loves that park. Like, I thought she was joking. And then she was like, no, I'm like being so serious.
No, and on the contrary of my original take of just like, I would love the Trop for the idea that like you go there and you kind of feel like you have the whole park to yourself. That's a cool feeling. Like we don't even get that here in Colorado with a bad team. Like every time I went to a Rockies game this year, I'm waiting 20 minutes to get a beer, 25 minutes to get food. Like there, you could go around the whole stadium and buy like 30 things in 25 minutes. So jelly about that.
Do you remember those, I think they were like challenges when we were kids where like a kid had a certain amount of time to see how many toys he could fill up in a shopping cart at Toys R Us?
Yes.
I think it was like a Nickelodeon thing.
Toys R Us is making a comeback.
Are they really?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there,
Thank
but I saw an
God.
article, like 16 stores across America.
Did you see an article or did you see a meme?
Article.
It's an article. I
Legit.
get all of my news from memes. I
Okay.
haven't read an article in years.
Yeah, it was. I didn't
huge.
read. I didn't read the article.
You just read the headline.
The headline gave me all that I needed to know. I didn't care that much about Toys R Us, even though I'll probably be there for the next 5 years, every week.
That's good news. That's good news for kids born right now.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Toys R Us making a massive comeback.
I love to hear that. What were we talking about? I would love to see like a shopping cart challenge, but how much food can you buy at the Trop in a period of 20 minutes?
I love that.
That would be so
That's a
sick.
great challenge. Like that's something that are the Rockies going to play them at the Trop next year, or do they?
It'll probably be the other way around, where we already have the schedule. It's in my purse sitting over there. But Tampa should come here next year.
Okay, because we went there this year.
Because we went there this year.
Got it,
So I
yep.
think it's supposed to be swapped.
Okay, yep.
Everyone plays everyone, though.
I love that. That was such a great change.
Such a nice change.
You get to see every single team, and then you get to, back-to-back years, it's one there, one here.
Yeah.
It's just an easy, just like some things are too simple, and that was maybe too simple the whole time.
Right, and attendance across all of Major League Baseball was up this season. And it's because, people get to see teams they don't normally get to see. So it's like, terrible example. Like, ooh, the A's are in town. We never get to see the A's. Let's go.
Yeah.
But all those A's fans showed up in their Sell the Team shirts.
Yes, exactly.
Solidarity. We
Love
got
that.
you guys.
Love that for them.
Love that for them.
When are we going to start doing that?
Getting Sell the Team shirts. Ooh.
We're like the next in line team for something of that nature, I think.
I think so. I guess it depends on how the rest of the next season goes. I don't know.
Well, they're not making the playoffs till 2025. I already
That's
predicted
true.
that, and that's what's going to happen. But yeah, from the teams off the top of my head, their Rockies are top 3 at least. At the worst of the teams that are like everybody.
They're in the bottom 3.
Everybody can generally agree that their ownership sucks.
It just, how do we fix it? You know who we're going to ask about how we can fix the Rockies?
We get the dick out. Take Dick and we get him out. That's how we fix it.
No dick zone over here. How do I even transition into talking about Circa Resort and Casino? It's Vegas's first ever adults only casino resort. Speaking of things that are just so simple. Adults only in Vegas, please. You don't have to get constantly ID'd everywhere you go, which is so nice. But yeah, they have the world's largest sports book. It's a 3-story stadium-style sports book. They have this huge 78 million pixel screen. They have incredible food, tons of VIP seating, which we love. A huge casino, and Circa has Stadium Swim, which I am still dying to get to.
So in January, the first week of January, the Broncos are making the trip to Las Vegas. We are doing a full trip.
Yes.
Broncos game, Stadium Swim on Friday night, some sort of there's a party Friday night, party Saturday night, Broncos game Sunday, tailgate Sunday.
Do you think people will survive 2 nights of parties in Vegas leading up to a Broncos game? Do you think people will actually survive?
Yeah, we might have like a 50% attendance rate at the tailgate.
I'm one of those who will probably be you'll be rolling my corpse into the Broncos game.
2 nights is my cap in Vegas. That's any more than that, and it's just I'm dead.
That's a small cap.
It is in Vegas. It is in other places. I have a bigger cap, but
Well, I think my cap in Vegas is more like 3 nights.
okay.
Once it gets to 4 nights, though, I'm like, ooh, that's too many.
Yeah, I think for me, the first night you're so excited, you get out, then you don't have to leave the next day, but you have one more night to really go hard, and then hopefully you don't have to wake up too early
Oh, that's a
the
good
next
strategy.
morning, but then you're gone. I've had nights there though where I've gotten in an Uber and I was like, "Hey, how's your night going?" And the Uber driver was like, "It's 7 a.m." and I had no clue. I was in the casino until 7 a.m. So it's what happens there stays there, obviously. But no, Circa Las Vegas is incredible. I can't wait to be there for this whole trip. Broncos Raiders. That's probably the least exciting part of the entire trip.
Um,
Because stadium swim is...
I'm so excited to check out Stadium Swim. Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but why not stay at the coolest hotel, which I think is Circa. But yeah, if you're heading out to Vegas for Broncos Raiders or maybe Avs Knights, maybe some Pac-12, book your stay. Use code DNVR20 for 20% off your hotel. That is such a good deal, especially for Vegas. Absolutely incredible. Also, a reminder, you can enjoy the fun of Circa's Sportsbook right here in the comfort of your Denver home. It's available in Colorado, so you can download the app at circasports.com, but Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado, must be 21 or older, all rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org. And Spencer, it is still Breck's Broncos Country Pale Ale season here at the DNVR bar. One of my favorite beers, my most chuggable beer, I think. But yeah, Breckenridge Brewery, our OG sponsor.
I'm
Our
a big,
ride or dies.
big Breck fan. The Broncos Country Pale Ale is phenomenal. My favorite's the Strawberry Sky. Always will be. It's like the best beer. It's maybe the best beer I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm a more like light, like lager type of beer drinker. I do like IPAs. It's not like I'm like, oh, enjoy your tree water, like some people say, but I like IPAs. I dabble in porters. I like the vanilla porter, but
he dabbles in porters, ladies and
the
gentlemen.
Strawberry Sky is by far the best beer. Broncos Country is great, though. I drink way too many of them every Sunday.
And you know what? Have you noticed the difference between the Broncos Country Pale Ale last year and this year? Because it's a slightly different recipe.
I'm going to have to take note of that. I'm going to have to think about that. Normally, when I drink a beer, it's just as fast as I can go.
Yes. If it's a beer and I like it, I'm like, good, I'm going to drink more of these. I don't have the kind of refined palate. So I'm dying for someone in the comments to be like, oh my gosh, I noticed. One of these days, someone will
have
tell me what is different.
The refined beer palate.
Yes, and someone with a refined beer palate. But yeah, Breck Brew, they've been doing this for 33 years. It all comes down to their love and passion for making a good beer. Check out find a Breck Brew near you with their beer locator at breckbrew.com. And don't miss out on their Broncos watch party, which is coming up on October 12th at the Littleton Farmhouse. Absolutely beautiful location. Obsessed with the farmhouse. All right. I'm obsessed with following all the different Rockies who are making appearances in postseason for different teams. We saw Garrett Hampson pinch hitting for the Marlins.
I love Garrett Hampson.
Garrett Hampson, man. I think he might be the only guest of the pod this season who is in the postseason right now.
Really? He's not, though, anymore.
Well, he was.
quick trip, a 2-night stay, max of 2 nights.
2-night stay in Philadelphia for Garrett Hampson. Jeff Hoffman. Remember Jeff Hoffman?
I thought he was going to be so good. And then he has some salt towards us, which I like only think we can have salt towards us. Like when somebody else talks shit about us, I'm like, no, that's my team. But when I talk shit about it, I think it's okay. So very hypocritical of me. I get that.
To be fair, I don't think he outwardly talked shit, but the way he would have played he was trying to make a comeback this most recent off season, and invited every team to a workout except the Rockies. He was just like, I want to make a comeback, but if the comeback was with the Rockies, no effing way.
He's like, I've lived the Coors Field nightmare for a couple of years. I went to Cincinnati. Now I'm Phil.
He's a Philly.
And he doesn't want to bury those demons deep.
Speaking of the Phillies, Rockies legend Jamie Moyer threw out the first pitch in Philly last night.
God, that was such a wild ride.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, Alyssa, do you have the outline? Can you pull up the tweet of what Jamie Moyer wore to throw out the first pitch? And it's a shame it's not a Foco. Yeah, he wore. Yeah, Jamie Moyer wore a Rockies jersey to throw out the first pitch.
You never know. It was a great year or two. Throw an 81 every day.
How old was Jamie Moyer when he was with the Rockies?
I want to say, wasn't he like 42 or 43?
He was like well into his 40s. He
Yeah.
might have been into his 50s. No, I'm exaggerating. For legal purposes, this is a joke. But Jamie Moyer threw out the first pitch in Philly last night wearing the freaking Foco overalls.
Oh my God, what a legend!
Because the Foco has Phillies overalls. Like, they have a couple different varieties of Phillies overalls because like they're so popular out there.
Are those
just
the ones
like the Broncos ones?
Are
that
those
we
the ones
have.
our friends at PHLY are wearing in their videos?
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Same thing.
Amazing.
Same thing. But yeah, Jamie Moyer leaned into Foco life. Dude, these are just like, this is so crazy. But like, people were like roasting him. They're like, what is he, conducting a train? Stop it.
Dude, it looks so good.
He looks
Like,
so good.
And then they dominate. Like, just what a great night in Philadelphia.
Philly's got some great, Philly's had a lot of great sports nights. This is definitely one of them. Crazy that a bunch of our colleagues were there at that game.
I know, jealous. The playoff baseball is such a fucking, the atmosphere is,
Yeah.
hook it to my veins. I can't wait for it to be back. 2025.
2025, folks. We're going to have another Rocktober.
I had, you know how like Facebook pops up with memories, which are some are great, some are not so great. But I had the one pop up, I believe yesterday or the day before, that when the Rockies got in 2018, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then I literally had a work thing on Sunday. I left. I told them basically to get bent. I left, went to the first 6 innings of the Brewers Rockies, and then went back to the work.
You made the right choice there.
And and I told people, I said, you never know when this is going to happen again. Here we are. We're still sitting here waiting.
You never know.
Yeah, so I didn't miss a single Nuggets playoff game this past year. I didn't miss a single Nuggets or Avs playoff game 2 years ago in Denver. That's my streak, and I'm sticking to it.
Yo, I love that. That's good. That is good. That is a supportive fan right there.
I'm all in.
He's all in, folks. All in. Okay, Marlins man. Marlins man has gone all in on his very specific look.
If I'm all in, he's double the stack.
He's double all in.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm not crazy. Like, you remember when Marlins man was like, I'm not going to Marlins games anymore.
I do not actually.
Maybe did I dream this? I don't think I dreamt it. Maybe he like was feuding with Derek Jeter or something. I don't know. But Marlins man on Tuesday night was not at the Marlins Phillies game in Philadelphia. He was in Milwaukee, sitting right behind home plate.
Can we just call him baseball man?
But he was wearing full Marlins gear.
But that's fake. That's fake fandom.
But apparently, so the tweet that we have shown right now on our YouTube page, if you're watching us live, he had to actually explain on Twitter why he was at the Milwaukee game. He assumed that the Marlins were going to end up playing the Brewers, so he made all these travel arrangements for Milwaukee, and I guess got his like really good seats for Milwaukee. And then it turns out the Marlins weren't even going to Milwaukee. I just feel like this guy's got enough money. Like, couldn't you wait a couple of days to plan your trip? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like, that's the toughest part about planning a lot of this stuff, and especially for like my job here, is like not knowing dates, not knowing times. Like, I never was annoyed by it until now, where I'm like, we still don't know like half of the times of the Buffs games, and they're like middle of the season. It's just why can't we just have a game time?
I would, that kind of stuff, stresses me out a little bit, because it's like, I would love to just like figure out when I can fly in somewhere.
Yeah,
that's why I just make all of my travel plans last minute.
Yeah, me too.
It doesn't help me.
Me too. I've gotten to that point too. It's like, I know when I can leave. I know when I can get back. It's just easier that way.
Yeah.
A little more expensive, but most of the time worth it.
Yes. Well, I'd rather spend a little more and go to the correct game than spend a little less, save a little money, and then end up in Milwaukee.
100%. Not a fun time. Not even watching your own team that you're wearing the jersey of.
Right. I'm not crazy though. I swear, like, he had a feud with the Marlins and like stopped going to Marlins games. I guess he's back though.
Well,
I
mean, that was like a little feel good story, because they have the one dude that hits like 400, and then the rest of their team is like, who knows?
Yeah.
It's like literally a bunch of just nobodies.
It's a bunch of randos.
Does Jorge Soler play there?
Does he play there now?
I think he is a Marlin.
Yeah, I think
he's
so.
like maybe the most recognizable name on that team.
Yeah,
Garrett
the
Hampson.
Marlins are just a gaggle of randos.
Jazz Chisholm.
Right, of
Good
course.
player.
Jazz Chisholm, very famous.
Yuli Gurriel.
Right, right.
Jorge Soler is there.
Yes.
Josh Bell. Okay, so they're not as bad as I thought they were.
No,
but
those are some good names.
They're
right
just
there.
like a forgotten team in my mind. Like
You just never took them seriously,
no,
and now they're out of it.
and now no one's taking them seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, they have Matt Moore. They have David Robertson, Johnny Cueto.
Yeah.
Okay, so they
I like
are-
Johnny Cueto. He used to do this. I don't know if he still does this, but he used to do like a little shimmy thing when he pitches.
Oh yeah, his windup and like his timing was insane. He would fuck with people so hard. Like he would have like 3 shoulder turns, 1 shoulder turn, quick pitch. The funny thing is looking at the Marlins roster though, like all the pictures of these dudes, not like one of them has Marlins stuff on.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's Rays, Yankees, Mariners, Cleveland, Athletics, Sox, Twins, like all these guys are it's just a cast off of random characters.
It is such a random cast of characters for sure. I mean, also good for Kim Ang though for getting into the postseason, first female GM
No, that's
to
incredible.
lead a team into the postseason.
Incredible feat.
She's a
like,
legend.
She's just a trailblazer.
Yeah.
Blazing trails.
It's the only reason I ever would root for any Marlins success is because, listen, she's probably really good at her job.
Yeah, I mean, to take a team and basically looking at what she was given, obviously she like pieced this team together.
Yeah.
None of these dudes, she made the right signings, and making the playoffs in the MLB is not an easy task, and especially being a Marlin, like you're not the Yankees, you're not the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's putting other GMs to shame.
Listen, she could do all that with a team that no one shows up for.
Yeah, a team that no one shows up for and no one knows who the players are, like shouts to her.
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe they'll gain a little traction.
Good for Kim Ang.
Yeah.
Maybe she should come out here.
God, that'd be amazing.
There are actually so many women who work for the Rockies.
Like in role that we
in
don't
so
like.
many different roles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's
Well, I mean,
so
Jenny
cool.
Kavanaugh's the shit. Like she calls games.
legend.
And,
A legend.
She's probably wasn't she one of the first to do that? Like,
She was like the first in like decades to call a National League baseball game.
okay, yeah. So she's a
At
trailblazer
least.
as well.
It might be a little more than that, but yeah, she's absolutely a trailblazer. Like she's calling games more than other women are calling games. in
Fire up
baseball.
the fountains.
And she has her own
Yeah,
catchphrase.
she does. That's you got.
Legend.
I feel like you have to as a baseball announcer, right? Like the home run call has to be your own.
That's why I can never be a baseball announcer because my catchphrase would be "fuck it, we ball."
Down 11-1 solo homer.
Fuck it, we ball. I mean, if Buddy can say it all the time, it's good enough for me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Do they bring him back next year?
You know what? That is definitely the question that has been on the forefront of so many people's minds. Because we kind of noticed, like, I don't know if I'm just reading too much into it, but at the end of this season, he seemed super emotional. Like, he just, like, I don't remember him being that emotional last year. I don't think I'm the only
Are
one
we
who
emotion
noticed
shaming
it.
this man?
No, I'm not emotion shaming, but, like, if I were, if I was working somewhere and I knew that it wasn't working out and that I was going to step away, like, I'd probably be pretty emotional, too.
Yeah. So you think it's it's a step away situation?
I think it could be either one.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, if it were like gun to head, Susie, what do you think is going to happen? I think he comes back.
I agree, and I think he should.
I think he should too.
When you look at the roster, look at the players he had, and somehow think that that's his fault, you're delusional.
Exactly.
You're out of your own fucking mind.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm not saying he's the best manager in the world, but you think, I don't know, pick a manager that's won 100 plus games or whatever. You think it's because of them that they're winning all these games? No, it's not.
It helps.
It helps. Obviously, the entire team has to be bought in, has to be healthy, they have to have good players.
Yeah.
Like too much falls on managers and coaches in sports, and they have to take the sword because you can't fire the players. Mostly.
Well,
Most of the time.
you can't fire all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I think we see Bud Black back next year.
Bud Blackback.
Bud Blackback. I was just thinking, what a tongue twister I just came up with. But I nailed it.
We need the graphic when we know he's coming back to be back in black.
Ooh.
With like, some... Is it James Bond? I'm not a movie guy. I just know the saying. Or no, it's a song. It's an AC/DC song.
That is an AC/DC
So we need
song.
like an AC/DC themed graphic with Bud Black on it.
Oh, man. He would love that.
We should put that request in now and have it ready.
I will absolutely put that. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with Fubo because it is the most cost-effective way to watch the most Colorado teams for the lowest price. More than 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, news. You can stream live TV from any device, which I personally do all the dang time. You can start watching immediately too with a free trial. There's no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching with Fubo. Plus, you're getting 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge, so you can watch all of your local teams even while you're traveling. Absolutely key. But college football, Broncos, Ryder Cup. Is the Ryder Cup still going on?
No, it's over. It
It's
was over
over
this past weekend.
Okay, how was it?
It was great. It was okay.
It was okay.
Europeans won again. They haven't. The United States team hasn't
Disgusting.
won on European soil since I was born. So 30 years.
It's gross.
But it was a blowout to start. U.S. made a comeback, made it fun, but it's like one of those odd because it's in Europe. So like they kicked off here Friday night at like 11:30. That's like when I stayed up the whole night and watched it.
But it's great because you're already up all night.
Right, exactly.
With
yeah.
Mr. Baby.
Exactly. It was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Perfect. Yeah, but you're going to be able to catch that on Fubo, stuff like that on Fubo. You're going to watch college football, NFL. Go to www.FuboTV.com/DNVR to sign up, and you are getting 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Again, that's FuboTV.com/DNVR for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. And you know who else is given 15% off? Actually, no, not 15% off. It's 25% off when you use code DNVR at Kind Love. Y'all know how much we love the Turbo Core, 100 milligram cannabis concentrate stick that you can put into anything you've already rolled. They come pre-rolled too in the turbo joint. We have a saying around here, the turbo joint be turboing, because it is no joke.
Yeah, I can't. I have to be in a safe place for those.
They're a little too strong for me to do a whole joint. I think I would actually fly away.
The first woman to ever fly.
I would be the first. I would literally
Presented by
I would
Kind
go
Love
to
Turbo
wherever
Joint.
Amelia Earhart is right now. That is like the kind of flight I would go on. But yeah, we love the turbo joint. It's very potent, a lot of fun. But yeah, they have a deal going on right now. Get it while it's hot. Flower Shelf, eighths for $20 out the door and ounces for $100 out the door. Visit their store either in North Denver or the one in Cherry Creek, the one that's near Shotgun Willie's and that Target.
That's my spot.
That's your spot,
I
man.
live right there, so that's my Kind Love.
Yes.
They finally put some signage up, I will say.
Okay, good.
Kind Love is great. The first time I tried to get there, I was so confused.
There's
it was
a
like
lot going on
it
in
was
that
like a
shopping
house
center.
behind some trees, and then I even drove around the other side of it, and I'm like, it's right here, but it's not right here. Where do I?
pin says
How do
it's
I
here.
get here? But now they have signage on the building, and it's amazing.
Okay,
it's a really
good.
cool spot to go into. They're always super nice. And yeah, I'm not a turbo joint guy, but the regular joints are good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the trick.
I feel like the turbo joints are good for when you're sharing.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yeah, have a little bit. There you go. But yeah, you're going to head into either that Cherry Creek store or their store in North Denver. If you mention DNVR, you are getting the DNVR listener exclusive discount of 25% off all Kind Love flour, pre-rolls, and their turbo joint line. So you can visit their store or head to their website, kindlove.com, and use code DNVR for online ordering. Or you can just check out their full menu. It's very extensive, but kindlove.com, use DNVR, the code, or say our name out loud, whisper it to them. They'll love it. All right, where did we leave off? Or you know what? Let's pick up with a really sweet moment that happened at the Rays' first playoff game this past round. Randy Arozarena, he is from Cuba originally. He defected and is now... I don't think he's a citizen yet, but he has called Mexico his home now.
Okay.
His mother has never been able to see him play baseball until this week.
I love those stories.
It's incredible. She finally got a visa to come visit America and see her son play, and she even threw out the first pitch. How emotional is that?
Incredible stuff from them.
Like, it's so wild to think there's...
Maybe she should have pitched the other 9
Maybe
innings.
she should have. Actually, she threw a really good first pitch too. We were like, okay, damn, like
right. That's where you got it from.
That's where that arm comes from. Let's go. So I thought that was super sweet. But yeah, we mentioned this a little bit. The poor attendance at the Trop. Their Tuesday night game was the lowest attended postseason game since 1919, which was Game 7 of the 1919 World Series in Ohio. Also, there were like a fraction of the people on this earth in 1919. 19,000 is a lot of people for 1919.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for 2023.
It would be fun to go through and take the attendance numbers from Rockies home games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a few after the initial like spark of opening day. There was like 12, 13K at like a Wednesday afternoon game. But I'd venture to say under 82 home games, under 10% of Rockies regular season games this year had an attendance less than that.
You know what? We can look this up right now. I know we had some games that were in the 19s, but I mean, the Rockies finished strong with attendance. Like there was at least one sellout at the end of the season. There weren't a ton of sellouts. I think the only sellouts were like opening day and the fireworks games.
Were Yankees games sellouts?
They must have been. Yankee series was a little busy for me because that was when Taylor Swift was in town.
Who?
Listen, I can talk about her
Taylor Kelsey?
in the context of her actually being a musician. But yeah, the Broncos guys were just like, don't mention Taylor Swift. We're all very sick of hearing about Taylor Swift going to football games. Like, I love Taylor Swift. She's my everything. I'm so obsessed with her. But I don't need to talk about like every little thing she does for fun.
I respect you so much more now.
Thank you.
Because you're the biggest Swiftie I know by a mile.
Thank you.
But the amount of coverage she gets for attending a football game has almost like diluted the NFL's product, and it's like annoying. It's like I think they're the cover photo on the fucking Instagram. She is the cover photo.
So it's become too much because she's just one person. Like, I love that they leaned into it a little bit, but
and they are smart to do that because I guess jersey sales were up like an insane amount for Travis Kelce's jersey. Viewership on the ages of like 12 to 35-year-old women was way up in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're leaning into something that makes their product more watchable apparently or more widely viewed. But like for those of us that are watching every game no matter what, it's like, all right, we've had enough of this.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at the Rockies attendance numbers. So home opener rather, 48,230. That's a sellout. And then immediately 30,000, 34, 30, 24. I think.
Can you sort those by lowest, or does it let you, or no?
You know what? I mean, if I were to make a spreadsheet, I could. From what I can see, I think one of the lowest attended games of the season was April 19th. It was at home. It was 18,511.
That's crazy.
And the night before, it was just 19,495. And that was when Pittsburgh was in town, so I get why those numbers like might have been a little bit lower, but that was kind of when the people who cover the Rockies kind of hit the panic button because we're like, okay, like that's some of the lowest attendance since the Rockies were like actually really bad.
Right. Is it like that was like the time of the year where we were like, or is the fan base going to make as big of a statement as they can by not attending games? And then it went back up and
yeah.
And you know, like I attend games for obviously the Coors Field atmosphere, but if you're an actual fan and watch the team and care about the team, that you can most teams you can find, and in the Rockies especially, Nolan Jones, Ezekiel Tovar,
The
Brendan
diamonds
Rodgers,
in
like
the rough.
there's Elias Diaz, the
Yes.
All-Star Game MVP. There's guys that you can go and watch each day that make the game worth watching.
Exactly.
Our ex Nolan literally would make games worth watching.
Who?
Ex Nolan.
Was there another Nolan who played for the Rockies? I simply don't remember.
I don't. Maybe his name was Nolan. I don't remember his last name, but I think we had one. We've got a new one now.
Well, I certainly don't see any Nolans in the postseason right now. So
No, there isn't
what
any.
a shame.
What a shame.
What a shame. Oh my gosh, we actually have a comment
He only
that I
wants
totally
to win
missed.
games.
Eric Simmons asks, should the MLB keep the pitch clock?
100%.
I love the pitch clock. The pitch clock changed my life. We had faster games, less downtime, just like guys standing around. I wanted them to get rid of the pitch clock for the postseason to let those really big moments build. And I don't think we've had any pitch clock violations in the postseason. I need to really look. I wonder if like umps are being like a little more lenient, because like some of those moments, like you really need to
Let the guy
let
step
them
off.
ferment.
Exactly. No, the pitch clock 100% should be kept, and I think the product is better, and it's only going to get better going forward. This is the worst the pitch clock issues will be.
Yeah.
Because now everybody's got a full season under their belt. They're ready. They know what they're doing. Some guys are still going to fuck it up because we're humans, but
Everyone fucks up everything.
Yeah,
That's the human way.
exactly. But that's the worst the pitch clock is going to be, and it's only going to get better from here. And games were more enjoyable. It was fun to have some pitch clock blunders and people getting pissed off or not figuring it out, and that's on them. That's their job.
I'm gonna be so mad though if a game in the postseason is decided by a pitch clock violation on either end.
Yep. That'll be. What if the Phillies win the World Series on a pitch clock violation?
I would be pissed because I would have wanted the opportunity for the Phillies to win the World Series the right way. Not on a little technicality, because then that's gonna.
Your respect level for me is just like fucking skyrocketing.
Listen, I'm surprisingly a reasonable person. I know that I don't seem like it, but I actually have some reasonable opinions.
Okay.
And that is one of them. No, but because then that's all people would talk about for the whole off season is, but the Phillies wouldn't have won it if it wasn't for the pitch clock. Like, I don't want that scenario I don't want that for, the team that I follow. I don't want that for any of these teams.
Yeah, the game is won on the field. It's not won or lost by the refs. It should never be.
Yes.
Because like you said, a couple of years ago, the NFL, there was like the worst call ever. It was all that was talked about. It's still talked about. Mm-hmm. You don't want to make it about that. You want to make it about the guy that hit the home run or the guy that closed the game out.
Yeah, I don't want the World Series to be all about Angel Hernandez fucking up a call.
If he is allowed to step foot in the same city that a World Series game is being played in, he's got something on somebody. He's got fucking Manfred Social Security number.
He probably does. Well, I mean, apparently he's a really nice guy, but nice guys have blackmail too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Eric in the chat, who do you think wins the National League pennant? He thinks the Braves. I think the Braves are so good, and I'm going to be so stressed out on Saturday once the Divisional series starts because it's Phillies versus Braves. But the Phillies took those games last season.
Yeah, to me, I mean, in the MLB postseason, it comes down to it's just like football where it comes down to defense. It comes down to pitching. Mm-hmm. I personally trust the Phillies pitching a little bit more than the Braves pitching right now. I mean, the Braves lineup is a fucking disgusting. But you see this every year though. A lot of the teams that make the playoffs have these lineups that are scoring a ton of runs. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't happen in the playoffs. You don't see 11-9 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like every moment's intense. Like watching the D-backs last night, Zach Gallen looked like he was awful. Looked like he had 4 or 5 hard hit balls in the first inning. And then he locked it in. Mm-hmm. He only allowed 2 runs. It gives his team time to come back, and they won. So it's going to come down to pitching for me. And I love Spencer Strider is like my favorite.
Yes.
Fucking, he's got the same name as me. He's a little,
But he's good. He's a
slightly
stud.
more successful.
Slightly.
Absolute
Slightly.
stud. His mustache fucks. So, I like Spencer Strider's my guy. But past that, like, can you really trust all of the Braves rotation?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Meanwhile, the Phillies pitching-wise are absolutely cooking. They got so many innings out of Nola the night before. They got 7 out of Zach Wheeler. Phillies have some really dominant
That's going to be a
pitching.
great series.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be
Absolutely
much
electric series.
must-watch baseball. And I hate that we have to wait until Saturday now. All of the teams swept in this wild card round.
I saw a joke on Twitter that was like, so nice of the MLB to leave the Bears and Commanders NFL game by itself tonight. Like, which is not, obviously not
What
a great game. Like,
terrible matchup that's going to be.
yeah. So, but they're the only major sport on TV, regular season or postseason tonight. So
I'm going to take tonight off from sports.
There you go.
Like for the first time in I don't know how long.
I always plan on taking Tuesday, Wednesday off. Like, that's usually my nights between the NFL games, and then Friday's college football, Saturday college football, Sunday, obviously Sunday, Monday NFL. But now that baseball postseason's on, like I like baseball. I won't just sit down and watch a regular season game of another team, watch every Rockies game. But the MLB postseason just so intense that every pitch matters. Like it's the only sport where literally the game, like not the only sport, but like NFL, like when you score a touchdown, 90% of the time it's like drive. Like last night, the Diamondbacks were getting no hit. One guy goes yard. All of a sudden, like then it changes the entire game.
Yeah.
It can be 0-0 and a pitcher's duel, and then one error, one thing here or there, and the entire game is changed, and then the momentum is just like swung one way completely. So baseball, I think, is the most intense. Every game is intense at some part of it.
Yes.
Like there in other sports, like it can be intense at the end, game-winning shots, game-winning field goals, etc. But like baseball, when it starts at 0-0, it's intense until somebody scores, and then it gets intense at the end when they're trying to close it out. Like it's just such an electric postseason that I watch every game.
I always say, I'm a little biased, but I think baseball has the best postseason.
I agree. I would
Out of all
actually
the
agree with you
sports.
on that.
You will actually agree with me. Could you look at me having such good takes today, considering I normally have the worst takes imaginable?
No, I love your takes normally.
Thank you.
But today I super love them.
I love this for me. I will say on the topic of the D-backs, they made those games so fun. They came back from behind in both games to snag that wild card win.
You know what they call it coming from behind? A comeback.
They do.
It is impressive though. It is impressive when you get like in a postseason, you don't see that a ton. Because once a team gets a lead like this, perfect example is the Phillies. They kind of were playing with their food a little bit last night. They were up 2-0. You're like, but the Marlins just didn't present any sort of. But like when I saw the Brewers get up 2-0, I was like, oh, this is cooked. Like their Diamondbacks are done. It's going back to Arizona. And then, you get a couple runs and momentum in baseball. Momentum in sports is a huge thing, but momentum in baseball, like you get one, like a guy's pitching a no-hitter through 3 or 4. You're like, nobody can hit him, obviously. One guy squeaks out a little base hit over the second baseman's head or whatever, and then all of a sudden the floodgates can open. So awesome to see from the Snakes. I'm a Snakes fan right now.
You're a Snakes fan
I
right
can't
now.
be too committed because they're in the same division as the Rockies.
But you know what? You're such a company man that you want to see our colleagues down at PHNX.
Yeah, I
want
to see something
them
good
succeed.
happen for them. Yeah. Like a Diamondbacks Phillies NLCS would make me so happy.
I would probably,
as long as the Dodgers aren't in it. Is all
I think I would throw up.
It would be intense.
It would be so stressful for our company. But yeah, no. Gosh. This is a fun postseason. I'm really enjoying this.
It's a good start. It's off to a great start.
It's off to a very great start. We're off to a great start. An off-season start. Thank you for helping me reel it in. But yeah, it's 1 o'clock. We'll probably start wrapping this bad boy up. Spencer, what events do we have coming up here at DNVR /ALLCITY? What should our wonderful listeners be buying tickets for?
So you don't even have to buy a ticket for this. Tomorrow night in the bar, Friday night, next in Nashville Country Night, We have 3 country singers coming into the bar.
We have country singers coming in?
Yeah, check your Slack every once in a while.
I've been very depressed all week, so.
No, I'm sorry. 8 to 10:30 tomorrow night. We have happy hour from 6 to 8. And then they're going to go on. They're 3 artists that have wrote songs for like John Party, like big artists. And they're going to set up the stage here underneath where we are right now, play until 10:30, drink specials, all that. We have that coming up.
Oh, that's so sick.
And then, of course, Nuggets and Avalanche takeovers will be starting up here. November 4th is our first Nuggets one. So we're less than a month away. Like, I was like, oh, we don't have to promote it yet. Holy shit, it's October 7th or 6th or whatever it is. Yes, we should. So
yes,
5th.
we should.
See, I'm just like skipping ahead days.
But
yeah, we got a couple of great events coming up here at DNVR. And the bar, we've got great specials for all NFL games, Thursday nights, Monday nights, and Sundays. Of course, Buffs watch parties when they're away. Even when they're home, come into the bar if you're not going to the game.
I was going to say, I feel like this bar is popping even when the Buffs are at home because people don't want to deal with the hassle of like getting in and out of Boulder.
Right.
If you live down here.
It's insanely sold out now, too. So this is the best place in Denver to watch Denver sports, guaranteed.
It really, Buffs games have been popping.
Yeah,
I'm going to
they've been
show
a
up
great
on
time.
Saturday wearing a cowboy hat.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
And some sunglasses, some Shady Rays. I actually don't think we even have to say that anymore, but a cowboy hat and some unnamed sunglasses. Done.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We got Clint Hurdle coming into the studio tomorrow.
Love that for you.
And I love that he gets to see some country singers after the show.
Yeah, just send him down to the bar. Is it 5 p.m. like your normal Friday
It'll
scenario?
be a Friday 5 p.m. show.
Oh, yeah. Come right down to the bar, get some country on, get Clint
Yeah.
Hurdle into happy hour. Love that.
Well, he doesn't drink, but
Really?
no, he doesn't.
God, to look like that and not drink?
I think he's.
That looks like a guy that's been drinking for 60 years.
I think his drinking days are behind him.
Okay, well, he did
Yeah.
drink. That
He
makes a
used
little
to.
more sense. Love
He
you, Clint.
used
If
to.
you're listening, I do
Well-
like one of my favorite like childhood like stars.
I was gonna
As a
say.
manager, like he was the most. He's probably growing up for me one of my favorite coach of all time as a kid.
Yeah.
Like once the Rockies made the postseason 07, World Series, etc. Like he was. I loved him.
Yeah, so-
big Clint Hurdle guy.
So tomorrow we're gonna ask Clint Hurdle. Okay, you led the Rockies into one World Series. How are we gonna duplicate that all these years later?
I will be tuning in. I can't wait.
Yeah, so if you have questions too for Clint Hurdle, tweet them at us at DNVR_Rockies. You can follow Spencer at
Big Drive Spence.
I remembered your Twitter handle.
Thank you.
You can follow me at the Susie Hunter on all platforms. We will be back here on the DNVR Sports YouTube channel at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, live with Clint Hurdle. And until then, you know what managers like to say about closing out a podcast?
They don't know how to do it either.
No, they say, fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Talk to you then.